Hi artists, it's Miss Munger. Today I'd like to give you some tips and reminders and some suggestions about using your watercolor set. The first thing I'd like to show you is using your watercolor set just to sort of be playful. So the first thing you can do is make a light sketch with pencil on your paper. That's always a good thing to do to get started. So then you have sort of this overall design that you're following. So I'm kind of going to do like an abstract landscape. And then I'm going to have a few suggestions for you. The first is if you'd like to use some crayons in your artwork, putting down some layers of crayons makes a really nice resist for your watercolor. So I like to do that. So I'm going to put down a little bit of crayon mark before I start my watercolor painting. Okay, and now I'm gonna go get started with my watercolor. You can make a lot of really beautiful little marks with your watercolor and sort of build up with different colors. And if you are really patient, the colors will blend in different unexpected ways. You can already start to see some of the crayon I put down that is making a resist. So one suggestion I have for something to try is to try a lot of small marks with your watercolor brush. The other thing you can try is you can try doing wet on wet technique, which is wetting your paper first and sort of making a wash. So in watercolor, when we say wash, we just mean a light glaze of color. So there's some wet on wet watercolor. And then if we wanted to do sort of a wash of color on some of these hills, what I would do is I'm gonna wet the green that I want. And I think I want like a yellowish green, so I'm actually gonna mix the color over here that I want. And again, this should be, for a wash, it should be sort of a watered down color. Make sure my brush is loaded with all of that nice color and water. And then use my brush like this, and I'm putting down some light color in this area. Okay, those are a few of the things I wanted to show you, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this watercolor painting. The key with watercolor is really having patience. You could always add more watercolor on top of your painting once it's dry. You could go in with permanent marker on top of your painting. So don't feel like if something dried how you didn't expect it, don't feel like you can't change it. You can always go back into your artwork once it is dry. So I'm gonna let this dry right now. Happy art making, and I hope you enjoy working on some watercolor free time today and experimenting.